hear me? Okay. Folks, I got a problem. I'm supposed to talk about Aliya experiences, and I have sublimated most of them. You know, the mind can only hold so much horror. And it's like those guys that came back, I remember years ago, it's like those guys that came back from Vietnam, you know? Frank, it was like they're over in the Nam. I don't know, Carl, I really don't remember very much of it. And about a minute later, some kid's playing with a firecracker and he's on the ground screaming into his shoe, "Charlie's coming in at 4 o'clock. I need Artie. I need air support." Frank, it's a kid with a firecracker. Come on, dude. Oh, yeah. Thanks. Where'd you get the southern accent? You're from goddamn Poughkeepsie, New York. And like, you know, you weren't even in combat, dude. You were a supply clerk. I know. The horror. The horror. That's pretty much how I react to like year 1 here, and particularly all of my time in the Merkaz Klita. And everybody has a different problem with adaptation, you know? Everybody has sort of their own adaptation bit noir. You know, for some people, they can't stand the bureaucracy. Folks, I was a U.S. government, federal government employee for 10 years. You don't know. You have no idea. 60 different forms to fill out every time I wanted to go to the toilet. That is bureaucracy. This is nothing. All right? And I can't stand the Israelis. They're rude and they're crude. Hello? Israeli arson think I'm rude and crude. You know, so that's never not a problem. And we say, well, you know, the language. What the hell with the language? You just smile and nod whenever the hell anybody says to you, know? And of course, and I can't make a living here. Well, I've never been able to make a living anywhere, so I can't really blame Israel for that. You know, it's like, can't pin that one on Israel. I can't make it any place in the world. So, my particular problem, my particular adaptation challenge was the enormous size of the people. Particularly the women. Let me explain. You see, I came here from 13 years in the Philippines. That's where I made Aliya from. I was living in the Philippines, and before that, 2 years in Indonesia. Indonesia, I was an anthropologist studying primitive tribespeople in the forest. They were very nice. They gave me all these tattoos. I ran around like a Meshuggah for 2 years. I came home, I showed them the tattoos. They gave me a PhD. But the point about that is that everybody that I studied, they came up to like my stomach. I'm 5 foot 6 inches tall. I've been shorter than everybody all my life. I get out there and these people are like coming up to my belly button, and I'm like, let me get this straight. You guys are all this size? You know it's Stretch. And I'm like, okay, I'm like Annie when she shows up at Daddy Warbucks. I think I'm gonna like it here. 2 years of dealing with people that came up to here. Then in the Philippines, they were a little bit bigger, but all of the women, you've seen Filipino menopellets pushing, they're beautiful girls, but they're like, you know, small. I married one, you know, and she comes up to here. And it's like, even the president of the country when I was there, Mrs. Aquino, came up to my belt. How do you do, Madam President? Yeah. Could you use a little more talcum powder on your crotch? All right, so anyway, I get here, and it's like, I'm walking around Granada, it's like, oh, are you serious? Oh, you have got to be kidding me. Oh, wow. I had just simply forgotten how big caucasoids get. You know, it's like, whoa, no, those cannot be. And finally it culminated when I got my first job. I get this job, and I'm like sitting in an office, And suddenly, the phone rings. Come out and meet Sigal. She just came back from vacation. She's looking forward to meeting you. Okay. So I open the door, and I come out, and I look at, I swear to God, the largest woman I have ever seen in my life. It's like, oh. Whoa. Holy shit. Oh. After about 10 minutes of this, she became conscious of some kind of activity going on in her ankles. So she looks down, and she sees me, and she says, "Shalom, shalom, 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 shalom." The building shook, you know? Ani Sigal, and with that, there was this incredible wind, and my hair blew back, my glasses whipped off, I never saw them again. I'm not kidding. My face went like this, the clothes went like this. She says, "Na'im ma'od, ma'od, ma'od," and she sends down a hand. I swear to God, I'm not exaggerating, she sends down a hand that was big enough for me to sit in. And I'm saying to myself, what the hell is she going to do with that hand? I realized what she wanted to do was shake my hand. So I held up my hand, she bent down, and I watched in horror as my entire arm, clear up to the elbow, disappeared into her huge, vice-like grip. And she started to shake. And I'm like, whoof, 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 whoof. Finally, she released me, and I like pulled my arm out, and I'm like, God, I think the rotator cuff is finished. Okay, I can move the elbow. 3 of these fingers are finished. That's it. That's gone. You know. All right. That's that. I'll tell you what bothers me now, though. Since you're all such a sympathetic audience. What bothers me now is this. You know, people that I see that I've known for years. You know, I'm walking around Azusa Street. You might have seen me walking around Azusa Street from time to time. I'm the weird-looking guy in the hoodie hoping he doesn't get shot by George Zimmerman. You know, it's like, I'm standing there on Azusa Street, people walk by, and people come up to me and they say, "Oh, hi, Carl." And right away, I don't know where you're all from. I heard a lot of South African accents. Brought tears to my eyes, actually, listening to the English language was used like that. Anyway, so... all right, so anyway, some of you are from England, and I'm not even going to comment on that. You people are just incomprehensible to me. You always have been. You know, who the hell? You know, but the worst, I'm sorry, the worst of the Americans, my countrymen, you know? They come up to me and they say, "Carl, hey, how you doing? Well, let me tell you about what's going on with us. My son, he's a star of his baseball team, and my daughter just finished law school, and my wife is giving shiurim, and rabbis fly in from all over the world and sit at her feet and marvel at her wisdom." I'm like, that's nice. And then my other daughter, why, she's just cured 11 different diseases, and she discovered a continent that no one knew existed. That's great. And they go on and on and on and on and on. And then finally, you know, look, let me tell you something. Let me make this very clear. I have a lovely family. I have a wonderful wife, who you will notice is not here. I have a wonderful wife. And I have 2 fantastic children. I have all the bragging rights in the world. But eventually, you know, time after time after time after time, listening to this, listening to this, listening to this. The last time it happened a couple of weeks ago, somebody comes up to me, "Oh, hi, Carl. Let me tell you what's going on with us. My
wife is the Virgin Mary, my son is the Messiah, my daughter's 2 years old, she just cured cancer and makes a luncheon cocoa so good you could putz.
And I said, that's it. Fuck this. No more Mr. Nice Guy.
Carl, how's the family?
Okay. Well, my son still has 8 years to serve on his aggravated assault rap. And another 12 years to go on his breaking and entry charge. But the sentences are running concurrently, so we're happy about that. And about a month from now, they're planning to move him out of solitary confinement into Gen Pop. So we're pleased about that. And the person standing there going, oh my, I had no idea. I'm sorry. No, that's good. We deal with it. Well, what about your daughter? Here's where I beam with pride. She's making tremendous progress in drug rehab. In fact, they're changing her occupational therapy from basket weaving to macrame. I'm very proud. And the guy's going, macrame? Yeah, it's that shit you do with the yarn. No, I know what macrame is, dude. That's like, all right, I'm really sorry about that. All right, how's your wife? Who the hell knows? Yeah, I came home a month ago, drunk as usual. Dinner wasn't ready. I broke all the goddamn dishes. She walked out on me again. I don't know where the hell she is. He's looking now for an avenue of escape. So I decide it's time to wrap this up. And I say, of course, I'm not really thinking about any of this shit because my sex change operation is coming up on Thursday. And that's sort of what I'm really focused on at the moment. So the sex change operation, really? Yes. I think it's time to release my inner woman. And when she comes out, she will be this high and not any taller. Thank you very much, ladies.